Stephen Dujarric, just shut up. When Lalu Prasad Yadav was put in jail, you said nothing. What is your love with Arvind Kejriwal? To think that they're bearing the white man's burden, like Rudyard Kipling said, this is the white man's burden, to civilize the black races or the brown races. This is what it amounts to. And this smacks of racism. Everything. They have a problem with everything. Nose up in the air, thinking that they can lecture the world. Don't lecture us. We are not Pakistan. We don't take money from you. If you want money, we can give you money. Behave yourself. Jan friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Today we're going to talk a little about Dr. Jaishankar. His responses are iconic and the way, for the past so many years since he has been the Foreign Minister of India, the way he has propagated and defended India's interests is something for which he deserves 1,000 salutes. Now, the opposition parties are saying a lot of stuff, and opposition parties in India are saying that, India's relationship with its neighbours is not what it used to be. I'm surprised that the opposition parties are saying it because during their time there have been wars, right? During their time, there was Operation Pawan, in which we lost so many of our brave young brothers. So it's wars with Pakistan, wars with China. So to blame the current dispensation for saying that our relationship with the neighbours is not okay, I mean, this is something which is, I guess, childish at best, right? Now, External Affairs Minister asserts that India has a challenging relationship with China, but he's saying, I'm very confident here. And we are very confident that we'll be able to handle anything that comes from China. There is no problem at all. See, it's a mindset issue, I'll tell you what. It's a mindset. China, you can deal with China if you have the correct frame of mind. And the thing is, just tell China that we will not tolerate anything, period. Period. We will simply not tolerate you or your nonsense. And China will cool down because China has cooled down in the past. Now, the opposition claims that, India's relationship with neighboring countries has deteriorated, which is not true, and citing positive interactions with countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Nepal. So I don't know why the opposition wants a good relationship with Pakistan. I, for one, don't want it. I think a good relationship with Pakistan is a waste of time and a waste of resources, because if you have a good relation with Pakistan, they'll ask you for money. That's all that Pakistan does. I mean, they've reached Japan now. This is beggary across time zones. Earlier, they said that we'll only take money from China, we'll only take money from Saudi Arabia, UAE and the United States of America, including multilateral donors or lenders. Now, these guys have reached Japan. As far as China is concerned, it is China. See, the opposition parties in India must realize that it is China that started it. We did not start it. We are merely defending ourselves. And I think the opposition parties on this matter, they have every right to criticize the government. I'm not saying that. This is a democracy. Wherever you feel that the government is faltering, go ahead. Even if it's not faltering, go ahead. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care. I don't hold a brief for anybody. But here I'd like to say that if you feel ever, that, here is a thing where India has been wronged, I think it's proper to stand with India. If the government is doing, India is doing everything that it can to defend India, I think you must stand with the government. And this is exactly what Dr. Shashi Tharoor explained to Rahul Gandhi. And he told Rahul Gandhi this in one of the meetings, and Rahul Gandhi did not like it as usual. But Dr. Shashi Tharoor actually told Rahul Gandhi that, hey, you keep on criticizing Prime Minister Modi for everything. Every single thing. If he does good, you criticize. If he does bad, you criticize. You criticize him if he does anything bad. But if he does anything good, have the large-heartedness to say that, yes, I think he's done a good job. That way, you improve your own credibility. Your own credibility in the eyes of the people go up. Today, whenever people start, and it's very sickening, you start abusing the Prime Minister, people catch on immediately and people give him more and more votes. The more you abuse him, the higher he grows. I mean, that's just what it is. So, this is what it is. And now, there is a senior United Nations official. He's saying elections in India should be free and fair. I don't know. There's some problem with these white guys here. There's some very serious problem. I mean, look at America. In India, nobody is saying that the elections are rigged. Nobody is saying it. Right? Some opposition parties may make a noise here and there because they are sore losers, and if they lose, if they win, the EVM is fine. If they lose, then EVM has been hacked. This is their premise for every conversation that they have in and around elections. But look at the United States of America, the world's quote-unquote greatest democracy. Trump says that the elections were stolen. And for heaven's sake, there was an insurrection at Capitol Hill. They tried to take over the government. This happens only in some banana republic in some third world country. It does not happen in the United States of America. Should not have happened, but it did. Did any of these guys tell America that what the hell is going on here? What are you guys doing? Did any one of them have the courage, the gumption to at least stand up to America and say what nonsense is going on? You're stealing elections. I mean, happening in Pakistan, I can understand. Yeah. It's absolutely fine for this to happen in Pakistan, and it does happen in Pakistan every now and then. In fact, this election, 2024 election, was a fraud election. The 2018 election in which Imran Khan became the Prime Minister was a fraud election. But it happening in the United States of America, none of these people from the United Nations. But anyway, you can't abuse your largest donor, which is why nobody said anything to the US. And he says that we don't need people to tell us. Jaishankar responded to the UN official statement emphasizing that he trusts the people of India to ensure that elections are conducted in a free and fair manner. Why should the UN have an opinion on this? I don't know. There is something wrong with these people. Every white guy in any position of power, most of them, I should not say every white guy, but most of them in any position of power seem to think that they're bearing the white man's burden. Like Rudyard Kipling said, this is the white man's burden to civilize the black races or the brown races. This is what it amounts to. And this smacks of racism. You will tell us. United Nations, the most defunct organization in the history of this earth, will tell the world's largest democracy how to conduct elections. You're talking about free and fair elections. People give examples of India's elections. And you belong to countries that hardly have any population. Many of you have populations which are about less than one state of India. One state of India, your population is lesser than one state of India. And India has 28 states and union territories. And yet you dare lecture us because God gave you white skin. And that's the only reason. I have not seen any brown or black country try and lecture India. It's only the whiteys who have a problem with everything. They have a problem with everything, nose up in the air, thinking that they can lecture the world. Don't lecture us. We are not Pakistan. We don't take money from you. If you want money, we can give you money. Behave yourself. This is about issues like arrest of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and freezing of the opposition Congress bank account. Stephen Dujarric, spokesman of the UN General Secretary, expressed the hope that in India, as in any country having elections, everyone rights, including political rights. Stephen Dujarric, just shut up. Shut your face. When Soren was put in jail, the Jharkhand Chief Minister, you said nothing. The United Nations said nothing. When Lalu Prasad Yadav was put in jail, you said nothing. What is your love with Arvind Kejriwal, by the way? Why is it America? Why is America and American-funded bodies like the UN or the West-funded bodies like the UN have such deep... I mean, you should be even-handed. And it's not like Arvind Kejriwal is the first. A politician or the chief minister of a state to be put in jail. No, there have been many cases. People have been put in jail. Arvind Kejriwal has been put under custody by court's orders. You dare question the Indian courts? You dare. You, part of the United Nations, the most defunct organization in human history. You dare question our courts. That's rich. Coming from Europe, which has committed one of the worst and some of the worst human rights records. Adolf Hitler was a European. Winston Churchill, the author of the Bengal famine, the main perpetrator of the Bengal famine, was a European. Mussolini, right? He was a European. Even Dracula was a European. And Dracula is a historical figure, by the way. Vlad Dracula is... I mean, Europe's ankles, ankles are seeped in blood here. How can you talk to India like that? It's honestly very surprising for me. And Dr. Jaishankar expressed strong concern over the issue of Indian students from Kerala being duped and into fighting for Russia in its war against Ukraine. Jaishankar stated that this is unacceptable for an Indian to be taken to a conflict zone and be made to work for an army, emphasizing the matter is of deep concern. Efforts are underway to ascertain the number of Indians stuck in Russia to facilitate their return to India. And Dr. Jaishankar assured that the toughest legal action will be taken against those responsible for duping Indians. So, and he spoke to the Kerala Chief Minister, Pinari Vijayan and all that. But I just want to understand, how can somebody, there is a war going on. right, in Russia. Why would you want to go to Russia right now? Right? Now, you'll say that major people are going to Israel. People are going to Israel for working. And maybe Israel could do the same thing. No. But the problem is that people, they haven't been duped, right? They've gone there on proper work permits. Everything is legal. It's a government-to-government understanding. And they have gone as part of a government-to-government understanding. And they are safe. But look at the other factors, yeah. Look at just the other factors. Look at how people, they go to Russia, they say, hey, we want to go to Russia for a job, and then they land up in the front lines. And then they say, we have been duped. How can you be duped here? So, you see, you need to be very careful. And you need to take response. I'm not saying that these people are wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, in this hunger to be successful, and many of them may have family commitments, which is forcing them to go outside and earn their bread. And I don't grudge them that, all the best. But, at the end of the day, they must realize that their own safety is also their responsibility. Of course, is the government of India's responsibility. Of course, the government of India will step in and the government of India will do its best to get them back. But at the end of the day, it is also their responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, question and answers. We have Parth Popat. He's a regular viewer and he says, Namaste Gauravji, Namaste Parthji. Can you explain what is a Tri-Services Defence Station? Is there a reason that Mumbai was selected to be the country's first such joint station? No, I don't know about Mumbai being selected. I'm sorry, I don't know. Andaman and Nicobar, there is an Andaman Theatre Command that I'm aware, and it's Tri-Services that I'm aware, but I'm not aware of Mumbai. So please, I may have not been updated on this, or I may not have read about it, but it's not like a station. Okay. Let me explain in loose language. Tri-Services, Army, Navy and Air Force working together under a joint command of one person who could be either from the Army, Navy or the Air Force, irrespective. And everybody in that specific area of operations, the AOR, area of responsibility, in that AOR reports to that person, irrespective of the fact whether he's from the Army, Navy or Air Force. And they fight together, right? So if you're talking about a station, if you're talking about this is Tri-Services. It's like that. Like in Andaman. So I know about Andaman, which is why my answer. And Vivek Kulshresht says, he says, Jai Shri Ram, Vivek. He said, my question is, considering how France is aggressively pushing Russia diplomatically and news is that they are mulling over boots on ground, if they do, won't it cause a massive horizontal escalation in addition to major vertical one as well? How will this impact the current situation in Ukraine, despite it being highly unlikely and this will have any long-term implications? You're right, Vivek. I agree with you. You're absolutely correct. And you see, if France puts boots on the ground, then be prepared for an escalation into Western Europe. France should not do that. It's not a smart idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't sacrifice a king to save a pawn. I don't know if it makes sense to people who are playing chess, because I don't play chess, but I just thought about this, so I said it. I have no idea whether you can do that in chess or not. Pardon me if my knowledge is inadequate, but let me tell you that Ukraine is not worth it and France should not do it. Get Russia to the negotiating table. Pressurize Russia. Pressurize both of them to talk peace. Don't threaten Russia with war. It has never worked in the past. In fact, France wants to fight Russia. The French Emperor Napoleon also tried to fight Russia. And we all know what happened. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.